with bone stress injuries, for the populations that I work with, or if you work with any kind of sporting population, but particularly if they're in an aesthetic sport, so gymnastics, or dance, or ice skating, or endurance sports, so marathon runners or triathletes, those are the cohorts where if you're a physio in those worlds, you'll see bone stress injuries all the time anyway. So hopefully you're aware of what you're looking for, and it will naturally be higher on your index of suspicion than somebody who doesn't work in those sports. But everyone should be aware of it, because these are the injuries that doctors miss, because they probably just don't have the time to go into the history to really work out. I've seen metatarsal bone stress injuries which were diagnosed as just a soft tissue bruise by a doctor, and a dancer was given a can of freeze spray just to spray on her foot before she danced. And it was quite a serious second metatarsal bone stress, as she had a fracture. X-rays only have a sensitivity of about 30% for bone stress injuries. So people all the time, they get x-rays and they say, oh, the x-ray was clear, so it's not a fracture. I'm like, no, that's not true, not at all. X-rays can only rule in fractures, they can't rule fractures out. If you don't have access to that and you still think it's a stress fracture, treat it as a stress fracture anyway, because if you don't do that and it will progress and get worse, or it will take a lot longer to improve. And a lot of the dancers that I see don't have the money to get an MRI quickly. And if we refer them in England on the NHS, it can take 12 weeks. So by that point, if you've treated it as a stress fracture anyway, they'll be better in 12 weeks. So you can't wait for imaging all the time. Sometimes you have to say clinically and objectively, this looks like a stress fracture. I'm going to treat it like that because I don't have the evidence that it isn't. Now, you might be wrong and it might just be a bursitis, which has happened to me, but that will get better. So you shouldn't really be you definitely shouldn't be managing a bone stress injury in isolation as a physio. Bone stress injuries are a multidisciplinary team effort to get better, because they also require things like blood tests, sometimes DEXA scans, nutritional information, psychological input. So they're one of the more complex, difficult injuries.